Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and today I am sharing a flip through of my Secret Garden Journal. This will be my first journal available for sale in my Giggle Glitter Journal shop, and there'll be a link to this journal in the description down below, as well as links to all of the printables I use throughout the journal, which are in my Giggle Glitter Graphics Shop. This journal measures 6 inches wide, 8.5 inches tall, and has a 2-inch spine. There are 3 signatures in the journal, and there are about 58 pages. If you were to number them, it would be 116 pages. So quite a bit of room. That includes all of the little ephemera pages and things like that. So if you just numbered them all the way through. A lot of the elements on the cover come from a scarf that I thrifted up. So these beautiful rosette fabric pieces was an applique that was on the scarf, and I removed that and sewed it onto the journal. There's the back side of that. And the tie is a trim piece from that same scarf. It's got a really fun raggedy edge. And then I've added a few other embellishments. I've got this beautiful stitched fabric in the background. And let's get this tie off. And I'll show you the tie embellishment. So there's plenty of room to tie this still if you add a bunch of things to it. And here's the embellishment. I used a pressed flower and put some acrylic over the top of it so that I would keep it sealed in, because those can be kind of fragile. There's coffee dyed paper behind it. And then I did a little embroidery thread along with a piece from a placemat. I used a few pieces from a placemat that I got in one of my recent thrift store trips. So I cut out this flower and the bee and this honeycomb piece. I just kind of like that theme for this journal, and that's attached to this piece of ribbon. Here's a close-up of the front of the journal. I added some buttons with a little embroidery thread through them, and there's this gold metallic kind of trim that has been stitched on. Everything has been stitched around the edges on the sewing machine. I just did kind of like a fast casual stitch around them for a decorative finish, and there's stitching around this applique piece as well. Here's the back side again, just to get the full view. One last look at the side, and we're ready to peek inside. Inside the front cover, I have a pocket, and I've got this great 3D butterfly sticker that I've added in, and I've stuffed this pocket full of goodies. Let's pull these out. You can see that I added some text from the journal kit at the top with some more of that pink fabric and a little rosette. A lot of these were thrift store finds. You'll see a lot of that throughout the journal. There is a coin collector's case, and I decorated with some stamping and washi tape and added another of those pressed flowers inside of it. Fussy cut on some linen paper, so it has a nice texture with the rose. And then this is a piece of canvas, printable canvas, and I printed my statue's printable on here. It's also part of the journal kit, and I cut her out. I thought she would make a fantastic bookmark. She could kind of peek up over the edge of the page and keep track of where you are when you're journaling. On the facing page, I have a cluster of different scraps of paper with a little kind of wax sealed sticker over the top of it. So those kind of flutter around. There's a little bit of writing space that you can play with there. Some more digital paper. This is printed on linen paper. Again, I used a lot of linen texture paper in this journal. I'm obsessed with how it feels right now, so you're going to see a lot of that from me. This is a paper bag. I kind of flattened it out. I stitched it up the middle so that it makes 2 pockets. So we've got an empty pocket here for you to fill with whatever you want, and a journal card in this one with the gazebo on it. It's printed front and back. And then the bottom of this, I used a stamp and a sticker to embellish it. A few more decorations on the back side of that. I've got some coffee dyed paper. There's a stencil pattern in this. It's very faint on this one. Subtle, I like it. Lots of writing space, and some of that pink fabric again mixed with a white and gold polka dot fabric for a ruffle down the side. Little washi tape and this is from my journal cards kit. I'm making these now so that they touch and you can use them as inserts in your journal or cut them apart and make journal cards out of them. So this is attached to another card that you'll see later on, with this nice statue. And then a paper doily beneath that. I folded the bottom of it up to make a little kind of tuck spot. This has an envelope in it, and I added a little scrap of coffee dyed paper with the patterns on it, and then a couple little bits and bobs tucked inside of there to play with. Nice blank space here, and now we're to a loaded up pocket. There's a metal tag that I picked up at the thrift store. I've embellished that with some German paper and a sticker. I've added an eyelet to the tag, the dark bronze color, a little bit of ribbon, the crane on it, and then a larger tag here with a little tab on it. And then the pocket itself has been decorated with some extra embellishments. I've got a kind of postage stamp, washi sticker, a seal with some ivy on it, the word ivy, and a little bit of cheesecloth. Got a lot of blank writing space here, plus some writing paper. This is a children's writing paper. I did some stitching to create a pocket and added a journal card in, and another big tag that I made out of a tissue box, I think. I added some stamping, and then there's some notebook paper on the back side of this for writing. More writing space on the back side of that. This is a page from a vintage book about flowers. I'm not sure the age of this book. I'm going to guess the 70s based on the look of it. Created a tiny little pocket here where you could tuck something in. I left a lot of the writing because I thought it was interesting. Here's a pocket from the add-on kit. Very pretty. I like that one. And this is a kind of book front-esque feel on this tag. And I added a stamp and a flower to the top corner. This is the only charm hanging off the side of the journal. It is a large butterfly charm. I really like how it looks, especially when it's all tied up and has this trim so like tied together below it. I think it looks really cute. Some more coffee dyed paper, and in this belly band, I've tucked this. I've made this kind of frame using the border of a holiday card. I added in some acrylic and some dried flowers, and then there's coffee dyed paper behind that with a little pattern, and there's some, you can write on the back of it if you wanted. I added an extra layer of cardstock to kind of protect all of it. This is a hidden paper clip, so I've attached that just to decorate it. You can see the other side of it when it's over the top, and it holds on this piece of gift wrap, the flower pattern on it, a little bit of writing space inside of that, and it just holds on right like that. Another stamp with a fussy cut flower in the middle of it. That was kind of a thing I was going for when I was going through this journal. I started doing it and I couldn't stop. More of the scarf that I cut up. It has some buttons on it, a little bit of that trim hanging off the end as a tab. Got a couple of tags here, kind of a faux garden ticket, and this journaling card front and back. And the pocket is really pretty on this. It has a garden scene. This is the other half of that 70s flower book. I added a little purple dyed paper. It's a very light purple, some stamping and washi tape, just to have a little writing space. And I left the other side of that as is with the flower text on it. The other half of that children's writing paper. This is a flip from the Secret Garden add-on kit. There's 2 of these in that kit. You just kind of glue the back sides together and it goes right over the page. It's one of the printables from the journal kit, all the pretty flowers hanging down. And then the other side of this flip becomes a tuck. I've got this little butterfly postcard in here. It's the other half of the doily, and I've tucked a couple of items in there. This is on photo paper, this picture, and some more linen paper for the flower. The other half of the journal card. More stenciled coffee dyed paper, and this is a vintage fabric from my stash, as well as a vintage style fabric. Has kind of stamped text on it that makes you think of ledger paper. The gray, it was a thrift store find, so I've kind of sewed those together and put them on the edge. Little tuck, another embellished flower card, some stamps on that. Little cluster at the top with another wax sealed sticker. Here's the other half of the bag. I put a stamp at the top so you could kind of make a title. There's a little definition of the word sunshine down there. And these are empty for you to fill with your own goodies. And another stamp and sticker combo. Here I've made little flip ups. This is mulberry paper with a stamp on the top. And then a fussy cut and a specimen label on this piece. And then those flip up and you have all of the space back here. I did a decorative punch on the bottom of this cardstock. Getting into the second signature, more of that ivy principle on the linen paper. Each signature has a piece of linen paper on the outside of it, I believe. Again, I love the texture of it. It feels really nice. Couldn't stop myself. This pocket has some embellishments on it, a bird stamp, definition for secluded, a little cheesecloth, and a fussy cut. And here's the pocket contents. I've got another photo paper image and journal card. Beautiful swan. Really like that. Again, on the linen paper. It's coffee dyed paper with the stenciling, a little ruffle at the top, and a bloom tab. There's one back here says flowers on this flower page. So flowers, bloom. There's a couple more tabs like that. Some more coffee dyed paper. This one has some green tint in it. I like to leave paint on my stencils so that it bleeds in. All those old inks and paints and things makes an interesting effect. Some more of our 1970s book about flowers with some vintage trim on the side. This is a piece of, it's not tissue paper, it's fairly thin, but I feel like you could still totally write on it without it tearing. It's got some thickness to it. And I did a little stamp with a stamp on the bottom corner. And that comes through. I thought that was really pretty the way it showed through the paper. Tiny scrap of notebook paper here. And this is a piece of gift wrap I got at the thrift store with all these wild flowers on it. And I've got that opening up all the way over here into a pullout. Tons of writing space here. And then I've got a little bit of this silvery trim at the top and the bottom. Pretty ivy printable. This is a piece of scrapbook paper with stitching on it. And it opens up. I left the white part of it available for writing. I thought that would be really fun to kind of use the stitching as writing lines maybe. A little cluster here, as well as some of this jute fabric. I used that on the inside of the cover in the front and the back as well. There's another 3D butterfly, a little bit of letter there. Did some German book paper and another specimen label. A couple of tags in this pocket, fountain, and then this decorated tag. Lots of room to write on the back. A little stamping and stitching going on here on this coffee dyed paper. And this is an organza bag I got in a dollar mystery bag from the thrift store. And I thought it would make a really cute pocket. So I filled it up. I just glued it in and filled it up with some goodies. Got another coin pouch with a flower in it. There we go. A little bit of sticker and washi tape on that. Here's another ticket, piece of ephemera, this fussy cut, and this big tag, some writing space and potential decorating on the front. And there's the background behind all of those goodies. It's the center of the second signature and a secret tab. Some more writing space, coffee dyed paper with a cluster and another embellishment. More stitching on the side of that. And then I've added some washi tape. I just left a lot of writing space in this area. You could also decorate those pages however you like. Here's a corner pocket from the add-on kit, and I've added another journal card to that, as well as a card I got in the same mystery bag as the gift wrap and the organza pouch and all that. I've decorated the front of it with some stickers and words and stamps and all that. And this is the card. And then it's blank on the inside. I tucked a couple of little bits in there. There's a tiny little paper clip holding these tickets on. And then this is another flip up piece of cardstock with the punched bottom on it. Lots of writing space underneath that. Some more notebook paper and another stamp situation. I just like how that looks. You're gonna see a lot of that from me probably for a bit until I get it out of my system. Here I did a little collage work on that 70s flower book page. It's a piece from the journal kit, as well as some stamping and layering and another little ticket inside. I've glued this pocket so that it's shallow enough that the ticket doesn't get lost inside. More vintage fabric layered with other fabrics and stitched, and that really pretty coffee dyed paper with the green tones in it. There's a belly band. I've kind of stuffed this belly band full with this little notebook. I made an embellishment for the front, some more of the jute fabric, and this kind of a lattice trim. This is cardstock, and I've added some pockets to the inside, front and back, stamping, and then some mulberry paper, coffee dyed paper, just a little notebook to play with. Another pocket in the back, and then that just slides right back in here. It's the other half of the journal card page. And this is the end of the second signature. Cute little pocket at the bottom and some more tags and fussy cuts. The third signature starts with this flip up. This is from the add-on kit. So you got writing space here, more writing space at the top. And a couple of things put into the tuck at the top of the page. And I did some embellishments over the rows. Really pretty dragonfly. More coffee dyed paper. I'm really having fun with stenciling my coffee dyed paper. I love the look of it. And some more layered trims sewn on. Little side tuck. More pretty cards. Printed front and back. Those are from the add-on kit and the journal kit. There's a cluster on some music writing paper. Butterfly on the other side of that. This is a vellum paper I printed with one of the digital papers. I love how this looks. This writing is so subtle and pretty. Another little scrap of notebook paper. This pocket has a cluster with a little piece of calendar and a stamp and plant fussy cut from the journal kit. Some more tags. This is a craft tag that I stamped and added a sticker to. And another one of those tickets. There's a little stitching at the top of the coffee dyed paper, little washi tape. And this is a really pretty mulberry paper. There's some like grass strands or something like that inside of it. I think it's beautiful. I was excited to include that. I thought it was perfect for this journal. This is another hidden paper clip. You can add some goodies under there. Lots of writing space on both of these pages. Room to tuck more things underneath the other half of this paper clip. And there's a vintage lace, pink lace on the top of this one. In the corner tuck, got another of these punched pieces of cardstock with the fussy cut. And there's a refuge tab here. And then inside the envelope, I've got some purple dyed paper and a few more little goodies to play with. tickets glued down on this page, and this is the other half of that grass mulberry paper. So pretty. Give you a little close-up of that. Very neat. There's a little bit of like a shimmer tool here. It's a little bit sparkly. See if I can, whoop, there. Over that vintage fabric on the coffee dyed paper. A little embellishment here. And now we're on the other halves. We've got the notebook paper, our vellum, the music writing paper. I added some flower embellishments to that. Top tuck with a little cluster. This bunny journal card. And this dyed paper had like a pink on it. I thought that was so pretty. It was perfect for this journal with all the pretty pinks. Some kind of a crocheted lace there. That was a thrift store find. And we're about to the end. There's a fountain. This is a piece of canvas that was printed again from the same as the bookmark at the beginning of the journal. This time I stitched it and made it into a side pocket. Added a little label. Tucked a couple of goodies in here. Another piece of photo paper. This beautiful gazebo image to finish it off, and then the back pocket's just full of goodies. Got a lavender fussy cut. This is kind of, I don't know if it's a coaster. It was one of those like thank yous you get after you make a donation. I got again in a bag of goodies from the thrift store, and it had about 6 different bird pictures, and I included this one with this journal. One more journal card, and then I've got this feather decoration and more text from the journal kit. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this flip through of my Secret Garden journal. I hope it's given you some ideas for working on your own journals. If you're interested in purchasing this journal, it is for sale in my Giggle Glitter Journal Etsy shop. There is a link in the description down below. If you want to make your own Secret Garden journal and are interested in the digital images that I use to make this, there are links to those as well in the description down below in my Giggle Glitter Graphics Shop. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.